All right, we're back. This is the Lineup's 200th episode. I'm Dave Prodan here with two-time world champion John Florence. John, you mentioned 2024 was a huge year for you when you set out. You were all in on competing. You wanted to win your third world title. You wanted to win gold at the Olympics, and you knew that you were becoming a father. And that's pretty recent. So if you're okay with it, maybe just walk us through the timeline, like, when your son was born, like if that felt like it immediately changed anything for you in your personal and or professional life, or if you were kind of ready for it and it felt like an easier transition than you imagined.
Yeah, so just this year in general, coming up to this, like the start of this year, I was like, okay, here we go. This is a big year. Like, I'm committed on the tour. I'm committed to the Olympics. We're having a baby. Like, there's just so much happening. Um, and I think just like taking it one step at a time has been the just biggest and best thing ever because I've really been able to enjoy every part of it. And then, like having our baby just before Tahiti and that lining up really perfect so that I was able to go to Tahiti. Like we were kind of like, I don't know if this is like the way the due date was happening. It was like, I don't know if this is going to work out if he's late a week or something like that. And so
Right.
just being able to be home for a week and then go down and do that event and just surf good waves. And yeah, so it's it's been a lot, but it's been a lot of fun also, and just kind of taking it like one thing at a time and just really trying to enjoy it.
Did it feel different like that first event after Darwin was born? I guess it'd be more from like a psychological or mental perspective, but you hear about it all the time from, elite athletes that then become parents. And of course, there's the logistical challenges and the extra complexity that comes with like day-to-day life, but a lot of them talk about like a focusing and like a harnessing of motivation even in the first few weeks of becoming a parent, because they're like, oh, I've got this, I'm a new person now in a way. I'm wondering if you felt any of that as well.
Um, yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I don't know if I felt like, okay, like I'm more motivated to go and compete now because I was leaving. I was like,
Sure.
wait,
Right. Yeah.
I,
Right.
I don't want to leave. If anything, I was like, maybe a little like, wait, should I go to Tahiti? Like, or should I
Right.
stay home for this first few weeks, And then I think once I was there though, and I kind of just was like, more than anything, I just felt like light and I felt like happy and just excited and like showing up to Tahiti was just like I was like sad to leave, but then also just happy the way everything turned out. Everyone was healthy, happy, and my wife's so good with the baby, and so she just takes care of him like unbelievable. And her parents were here, my mom was here, like we had so much support. And so it's just really the perfect kind of situation for me to go off and compete, and I just feel really good about that. And so that made me feel good about going and competing and feel light and happy and just and I guess it took a little pressure off in a way because you I'm looking at him now and going like, okay, this is the most important thing in my life,
Right.
and my life doesn't depend on winning or losing. Like
Mm.
that is a separate thing, and that is me going and surfing and just being able to let go and trust myself. And if I surf good, I'm really stoked, and if I surf bad, I can like think about it, and if I have a tough heat, I can think about it and work it out and figure it out to do better the next time. So it kind of changed it in that sense. It took a little pressure off, almost.
That's really well articulated. I think you nailed it. Where it's like feeling lighter because everyone's happy and healthy, which is such a blessing. But I guess, as you pointed out, it's like it's even harder to leave. But I guess what you lined up was like, well, now that I'm here and I'm here to do the job, I'm light, but I'm focused on doing well because I realize how valuable that time is, and that it's, whether you're calculating the sacrifice or not, you're like, I'm here to do the thing. And
Yeah,
um,
and I feel like you click out, like you're
yeah,
clicking, like you're at that home dad life, and you're like up every night, and then you go to Tahiti, and you're like, okay, now I'm sleeping, and I'm here, and all I have to do is think about this, like, and
yeah.
and I've so you're like going from like one thing into the next, like, um, yeah,
It's a good exercise in being present. I've found, and I'm fortunate. But I loved what you said, like, because I felt very similarly. Not that I was ever like overly concerned with like achievement or legacy, but like the second my kids were born, I'm like, oh my god, like that's hands down the best thing I'll ever be able to do, ever. And so as you said, it's like, oh, it's about them now, and like that, then it's a really like galvanizing piece. And I know that you're, and respectfully, excuse me, like a pretty private person, but I'm wondering if, I guess you're a fairly new dad, but for me, it was, as a parent, you're like, okay, how do I give them the best parts of me and try to protect them from maybe the things that weren't great, and it involved a lot of excavating of my own relationship, as a son or a brother or a daughter, or
Hmm.
not a daughter, but like, like how do I become the best version of a parent for this person? And then I had to evaluate like, well, who I was is like in all these other parts of my life. I'm wondering if that's hit for you yet at all in any capacity.
Yeah, no, it definitely has. I think from the moment he's born, you're looking at him and you're like, oh no, he's like taking stuff in, he's learning, he's like starting to figure stuff
Right.
out. And it's kind of stressful in a way. But I think for my wife and I, like the biggest thing is like we're just focused on us being us, and our little like
Yeah.
family unit. And like me, I think me giving the best version of myself to him is going to be me just being present and being there and
Yeah.
not uh, being sidetracked when I'm with him. But when I'm with him, it's just like, hey, I'm here. And so, um, yeah, that's kind of been like whenever I'm here and I have the time, and it's just been like I'm here.